Stro,
Yes.
when is the last time that you dreamed?
Man, the interesting thing about that is I dream most nights, but I dream awake and asleep.
Okay, so when is the last time you dreamed while being awake?
Well, that happens every day typically.
Okay, so you think, what is a dream to you? You think it's just an everyday thought, or a dream is just something that's just backed by something that you feel like almost like a purpose, like your life depends on it, like it's something that follows you every day? Is that what we call a dream, or what?
I think a dream is simply that you have a vision.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have to be careful because your visions can control your thoughts.
Right.
And your visions control your actions.
Can I say something to you right
Sure.
now? I'm about to be so raw and transparent.
Okay.
I used to dream about you,
Well, that's interesting.
but I just didn't know it was you.
Long before I existed, right?
Long before you existed. But what I mean when I say I used to dream about you is because what we're doing right now, this podcast, man, I feel like it's God-given. It's fulfilling this purpose that I have and you have. And long before, when I used to just think about things in my life and places I would be, and I always thought I'd do it by myself. But then at a certain point, I start feeling like something's missing. I don't know what it is. Something's missing. Someone's missing. And when I look at this right here, realizing and coming to fruition, I'm realizing that thing that was missing was you, my brother. And my brother was needed to make this dream come true.
Then I can easily share with you that I had the same dream.
How did that happen?
Well, interestingly enough, I never thought I'd be pursuing a certain aspect of life, right?
Okay.
And that aspect of life had visions to me, mostly when I was asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd be walking sometimes on the face of this earth, and I'd have these visions so vividly as if I was dreaming. And I never thought I'd be alone.
Okay.
And one of the biggest problems we have with our dreams is most of us only see them alone.
Facts.
But reality is this. There are windows that open.
You got to climb through.
There are doors that open.
You better get to walking.
Hey, man, put your foot in.
Oh, man, just in the crack?
Just in the crack.
All right, in the threshold, man.
Uh-huh.
Before we get too deep in it, you know how we get, because I'm just sitting here almost looking in his eyes and stuff. I forgot I was on this mic. So before we dive in, man, welcome back to STROK'D, the art of mental stimulation. You guys know what time it is, man. We touch subjects at depths that most people aren't willing to go. We go real deep. That's the way we like it, man. We dive in, we raw, we transparent, and what you hear is what you get. We hit record and we just go, man. There's no editing, there's no any of that. So all the ahs, and space that people try to take out, we don't do that. So what you see is genuinely us, imperfect, God's children.
So the question becomes, how deep can you go?
Ooh.
How raw can you be?
Okay.
And are you ready to get stroked up?
Oh, man, I'm always ready to get stroked up, man. I love when this brain's getting teased.
Well, make it rain.
Oh, man. You better cut that out, man. But just speaking back to dreams, that's what we touching, man. Dreams, I think everyone has them. I'm saying that like I'm questioning myself. What do you think? You think everyone has dreams? Like I'm not sleep dreams, like dreams, things in their life, things that's like every day is touching them, and every day that God sends this message. Like,
well,
maybe.
I'm going to hit you with a scientific fact.
Okay.
Typically what ends up happening to people when they can no longer have visions when they're awake, they start actually existing with no dreams.
Okay.
In their sleep.
Okay.
So I start looking at that and I go, okay, well, I question everything at that particular point.
Okay.
Why is it that you cannot dream?
Okay. A dream, is that something that you build yourself though? Like, okay, I like public speaking and I like motivating people. So is it like, that's something God putting in me because that's my gift, or I decided these are the things I want to do and I can picture in my head, this is how I want it to be. This is what I see. This is the stage I see. This is the person I see next to me. And I'm kind of putting that thing together for myself and I'm thinking about it every day. So therefore I'm dreaming.
No, I think what ends up happening is during the day, your subconscious can get, built. Mm-hmm. And then at nighttime, when you fall asleep and you're in your REM sleep, you can find yourself thinking those very things.
Okay. So dreams are not something that you come up with for yourself is what you're saying. You're saying that's already within you?
I do believe that to a degree.
Right.
To a degree. But at the end of the day, whatever you can build inside yourself, as you start to shape your own mind, okay. I do personally believe that at that particular moment, you can have your visions come to reality or fruition.
Okay.
You can start building your dreams and start having different types of dreams in your sleep. You know, it's up to you at that particular moment. Don't let anything control you, or don't let anybody dictate to you what that dream can be.
What is your dream?
Mine, a unified world. That's simple.
You got to get deeper into that. What is your dream? Unified world.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, if I had to sacrifice myself for another, I would. It's real simple. I wish everybody else was the same way. And, you know, the beautiful thing about living a dream is that you can find people that actually do live that way.
Now, but I want you to get very specific. I understand unified world, that's broad or whatever. I know that's your ultimate. I'm saying your dream, forget people, for stroke. Like for me, let me paint this picture so you can see where I'm trying to go. My dream is, and I think about it, I wake up, I eat, sleep, I breathe it. My dream, number one, is to touch people. But like I spoke before, I see the stage. I think the first stepping stones is this podcast. I mean, we're going to touch people. We're going to heal people. And that's going to open doors to other things. And I just think, like, I can see it. I'm on the stage already. You know, the number came to me, 50,000. We always dancing. 50,000 people, man. I just see them there waiting. Just sitting there waiting on us to come out. And you're in it now. It used to be me. Sitting there waiting on us to come out. You know, we got the mics hooked to us. I can feel the energy in the back, praying before we getting ready to step out. I mean, I can see us getting ready the first time hitting the stage. And we're like, this is it. This is the moment we always dreamed of.
What does that mean to you?
I'm telling you. And I hear the music playing. And then when we step out on that stage and the people, and I can feel the energy just within my body. And I just know God is putting this inside of us, and he's telling us to go forth and go do this. And this is what I see every single day. I almost know what I'm going to say when we hit that stage. And guys, we're painting this picture for you because this is things we planning to happen. You guys are in the beginning stages when you seeing us making this happen, when we're putting that foundation down to build to get to that point.
Raw nature.
So when that point comes, hopefully all these supporters and everything, y'all be the first ones to be out there sitting in those seats to support us. But that's definitely where this is headed. But yeah, that's my dream, and I feel it in every part of me. I can see the vision so vividly, so clearly in my head, man. So I know when you say a unified world, I want you to get deep down inside of you. If that's what it is, paint that picture of what it is, just like I just did with that, or specifically for Stro, not thinking about other people.
Here you go. I look at it this simple. You take a child, close your eyes, okay? Take a little minute. Imagine it's pitch black and you were locked in a cage. You know, put, what do they call it, a boulder.
Okay.
You know, put it in front of the cave and lock yourself in that dark element for a period of time.
Okay.
You know, when you first get to sunlight and can appreciate it, the brightness, the shining, as it warms your body, puts you in a different, you know, type of element as a person, a human being. Maybe you don't have education. Maybe you don't have the things that most people are privileged to.
Okay.
So when I look at that situation, I say, now when I close my eyes and I see a stage, the power of influence. Now, keep in mind, Salem is a thing. You know, where they burn witches.
I got you.
For reading books, speaking smart. You take that type of influence, and I see myself on the stage with my eyes closed, and I finally open them, and I go, oh, my God, I didn't realize how many people were here.
I can see it.
I didn't realize that.
I can see it.
Because all I wanted to do was touch one person, and next thing I know, that influence trickled. It's a domino effect.
Exactly.
See, we share the same passion, and that's why we are here.
Wow, you just took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say that. Don't get scary in here, man. Don't do that. You know, we get on one accord, man, but I can see that so vividly. And I also, while we're on that stage, I see myself almost turning red, man. And I don't know if I could do that with pride, looking over, listening to you speak.
What, you going to blush?
I'm blushing, listening to
the
you
stage?
speak, because I know your story. I know you've been. I know where you come from. I mean, as a person in personal quarters, I've been around you, and I know how bad you want it. And I just know how deep in your core it is. And when I listen to you speak, man, I'm probably one of your biggest fans. Like you inspire,
your biggest fans.
You inspire me.
Shit, you inspire me.
So the fact that you can meet someone, guys, and y'all have the same dream and you come together, like sometimes you think you're going to do it on your own, But sometimes God has other plans because I was that stubborn. I've been trying to build these bricks and build these bricks and build this foundation and build this house all on my own. And one day God was like, He threw this person. I'm like, who is what is this?
That's one of our biggest problems is we try to interpret our own dreams.
Right.
And that's a limitation because we have our own view. Mm-hmm. You know, we're conditioned to think a certain way and our subconscious starts to interact. And next thing we know, we're trying to define it through the analytical mind.
Right.
Right? Now we're blown away because we don't understand what we're saying
So you're saying in order to make those dreams come true, you kind of got to relinquish control just like everything else. You get in the way of yourself.
Yes.
We're getting in the way of ourselves.
Step back.
You got to step back and let it happen. But one thing you have to do is you have to take active steps. Because for years, I was sitting there for years in my head thinking, I want to do this, writing in notebooks. I'm talking about I got probably 10 notebooks, and that's not an understatement. I might make a video and let you see full of ideas and full of things I want to do. And it was in my head. I was never acting on any one of them. You always waiting for, this is the perfect day. This is the perfect time. This is the perfect moment. I want to be perfect, and none of that exists. You just got to step out there, get your feet wet, be flawed, let it happen. Let that be a part of your story. Let that be a part of your journey, and just do it. Because one thing we do not want to do is leave this earth with those dreams inside of us. Because when you die, those dreams die with you.
You ever wondered why perfectionism never exists in a dream?
Go with that. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, no, serious. A dream is fluid.
Okay.
Perfectionism is not.
Right. I never thought about that. I never even think about stuff like that when I'm dreaming. You mean while you're sleeping and dreaming?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that was a deep one right there.
No, I mean, think about it for a second. You know, in the analytical world, when you have a vision awake, you know, just in case you're the type of person that can, there are walls there, not in your dreams. And when those walls exist, guess what ends up happening?
What?
You awake.
You're right, you do. Man, I'm really in a wild moment here, guys. Y'all thinking I'm listening to him talking like that really just hit me. In dreams, I'm not worried about any of that. There's no limitations. There's no boundaries. Anything goes. I'm going to share this with you guys. Sometimes in my dreams, I have downloads, and I get, God reveals to me certain things that I should implement in my life, certain things I should do. He has even implemented ideas and things that we have used on this podcast. I share them with Stro. I'm glad I have that, where I can openly share things like that with him, and I can talk about it. And some stuff is just like, wow, God giving us the next step. He right now, that was what we're supposed to do next. That's what the title of that's supposed to be. That's what we're supposed to be doing, man.
Right.
And like to get that deep with dreams, but they really go there, man.
But we share our dreams with each other.
Yeah.
You know, most people are afraid of that. You
Why
know,
so?
because vulnerability.
And they think other people, judgment, people might shut them down.
Absolutely.
Right. Think they're crazy. Look, I don't care. I'll tell you a rabbit chased me. A rabbit chased me, Stro. What you think that means?
I would ask you what color was the rabbit. I mean, but that's the interesting thing to me is that we don't afford each other those type of things.
Okay.
Imagine if we shared our dreams with each other and we paced each other. And when I say pace, we all pause, we all take a breath, we take a moment of time to appreciate what actually just took place in the conversation.
Right.
The exchange of energy, for example, right?
Right.
A dream is powerful and magnificent.
I like that.
It has no limitation.
Okay.
It has no boundaries. When it awakens you from your sleep, I almost want to say, write it down.
A lot of times I'm so upset, I say I need to start sleeping with a notepad by the bed, because a lot of times what they got at different levels of sleep called REM, and I don't remember the other one, but they got a certain part of it where you remember certain stuff. I think you remember the stuff closest to when you're waking up. But in between that whole entire period, they say you've dreamed a lot all throughout the night. But you remember the one that's closest to the time that you're getting up.
Well, there are certain parts of the brain that starts to compute, you know, and that's one of the things that's not typically, well, actually that is REM sleep. You know, when the brain is so, you know, encompassed.
Got you. Think, I'm sorry.
No, all I was going to say is that's probably when the moment when you remember the most.
I was about to say, do you think dreams can be snippets of reality? But when you think about it, sometimes dreams are so off the wall, but I don't know, maybe they mean something here. Sometimes they're just totally off the wall, it couldn't possibly happen in reality.
We don't want to get carried away with ourselves. You don't want to think that your dreams mean everything to you.
Right.
Because reality still is the same. We live in a cog system.
There go that word again, man.
You know, robotic.
Right.
There are ideas floating around all the time.
Right.
And those ideas can hit your subconscious. So you have to be careful when you think about dreams. Now, dreams should encompass a true resonation. And when I say a resonation, all I mean is if you're coming from the perspective that your innocence of a child starts to show itself outside your body, and you're still accomplishing things, and you still have a resonation about you where you want to touch another child.
Got you.
That dream.
Okay.
That dream is pure.
Okay. So you think, man, dreams, you don't want to caught up with them being just that. Because if you just dream without the action behind it to actually make them come true, I'm talking about outside of sleep now. We're back awake. If you don't put some action behind it, they become just that. And, I mean, they're useless almost. They're useless. You have to do something with it because it's a reason why you see that stuff, man. It's a reason why you think that stuff. Everybody's not thinking the same thoughts you think. Everybody doesn't have the same gifts you have. I mean, you're good at cooking and you just, every day you just see the restaurant. You already have the name in your head, but you continue just cooking for family function. You continue just cooking for that. It's going to come a point where you have to take that step, and that's going to be the first step to your happiness because that's there for a reason, man. That's a part of it.
Well, let me ask you something. Take an environment where you're at work or at school or anything like that. Do you actually take not you personally, but people in general, do you take an opportunity to look a person in the eye, connect with them, allow yourself to be vulnerable for a second? The problem is most people don't know how to protect their dream.
True. I like that. Yeah.
So they don't know how to protect themselves.
Right.
So they're afraid to share their dream or share a thought.
Got you.
So we can't be vulnerable.
So you got to really be, with dreams, you got to be, I ain't going to say tough skin, but you can't be afraid to dream alone. You can't. You can't expect somebody's support all the time because even your family, because they don't understand, they love you, but they might set their limitations on you. If they think in their head, I didn't do that, that can't happen, I can't see that happening, you can kind of think they're stifling your growth, but I mean, they can only see as far as their nose, or as far as their goals and their dreams go, as far as the things that they're doing.
You made me think of something. Most people can't see your vision because they're limited in thought.
Right.
They don't have the same imagination that you may possess.
Right.
And that's another thing because now we'll start saying things of this nature, prophet and prophetess.
Okay. Go ahead with that.
You know what I'm saying? When you have an outside influence that's bigger than the human nature.
Got you.
People can't govern that, but we try to.
Yeah, but you just got to remember, that doesn't mean they love you any less. And I used to think that. Like, why they don't support me or why they don't do this? And you can't care about what people think. Like, while we're doing this podcast, we kind of like, we're different. We say that outside. We're different, man. We're nothing like anything you heard before. Like I always say, you may have heard it all before, but you never heard it quite like this. We're different.
Not this raw.
Yeah, we dive deep. No one's really doing it like that, man. We're super transparent, super raw. You got to be able to willing to walk that road alone, or if you got somebody with you, y'all have to be willing to walk that road alone, man. You're not going to always have that. But then guess what? When you get to certain points, they're going to come along. You're going to see people like, I always knew you can do it. I always saw that in you, whatever. But you can't count on any of that, man. If you get the support, is great. Go ahead.
But here's the crazy thing. You start meeting people that are attached to your dream that you didn't even know. And then they share the same dream with you, or at least a minute degree.
I want to, speaking of that, I remember the moment, and I'm going to tell you guys something right here. This is it there. I remember the moment that this was born with Stro and I. Let me tell you this moment, man. So this guy is an amazing speaker. Amazing speaker, man. I know a lot of speakers. I know a lot of them. I used to do some motivational speaking. I used to be around a lot of them. And I have never met a lot of speakers at his caliber. Naturally, he has the gift. And number one, because he want to touch people, he has love in his heart, and that he genuinely just want to help resonate with people. And one day, we was in this establishment, and he was talking about speaking. And another guy was like, man, I'll come see that. I know, I would definitely come see you speak. That's how good he is. People are like, oh my God, yeah, that's what you should be doing. I definitely come see you speak. I'm there too. I'm like, yeah. So we're talking. I'm like, you know what? I want to do that too. And then we got on the subject of podcasting and all that. And it's just like we felt a lightning bolt hitting us, like both of us at the same time. And when you share your dream with people, I share my dream with a lot of people. And I have a lot of people.
But let's hit it raw, though.
What you mean?
We walked away from each other for a little small snippet at that moment.
Right. Let me finish this, though.
Okay, I got you.
I share my dream with a lot of people, and a lot of people I've had to say, because, people believe in me or they see certain things as me, and they be like, hey, I see that, and, I might want to do that with you. You know how many people I've had to say they want to work with me? I'd be like, oh, okay. But when this man, we walked away from each other, like he said, and we came back to each other, he was like, you know what? We should do that together. Mm-hmm. And I've never, like I said, I always picture walking the path alone. I never had no one that resonated with me that made me be like, oh, yeah, we should do it. But when he said that, it clicked. It's like a knowing. Like I knew. I was like, that's what we should do. Okay,
well, your analytical mind also did this, though. You had to put me to the test.
What'd I do?
I mean, you stood me outside, right?
Yeah.
And you say, well, okay, give me this example. Stage and record. I think.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
yes.
You put me on 2.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm crackling my voice. Okay. I'm a little nervous. Mm-hmm. You're taking a virgin, I want you to know.
Oh, wow. Not the virgin, man. They're the best.
I'm done with you.
Go ahead.
Anywho, you brought me outside and then we started to entertain each other, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. And before we knew it, we weren't entertaining anymore. We were connected.
All the way connected, man.
I mean, our spirits were in one another.
Got you.
And the problem with people is we don't share dreams like that.
No one does.
Imagine what type of empire that can actually get established.
It's happening, man. Y'all witnessing it.
Well, in the early stages, it's called pioneer work if you pay attention.
Oh, exactly, man. And we're doing it, and we're here, and you guys can have that too, man. A lot more people open themselves up, not to only joining forces, man, but whatever that is inside you, take these steps, man. Take these steps, do it, research. If you have to find a mentor, if you find a like-minded community, like-minded people, get with these people, man. It's time, man. Life is short. People are leaving here every day. You don't want to leave here with all that inside of you, man. You do not want to do that. That's going to be the worst thing in the world. And number one, let me tell you what it can do. If you leave here and you start working on fulfilling your dreams, you have kids and all that, guess what you're leaving behind for your kids? Man, well, you know what kind of blueprint that is? You know what kind of blueprint that is? Every breath in my mother's body, every breath in my father's body, they were trying to build something. They were trying to build a legacy. And they were trying to fulfill their purpose and live that dream. And that alone right there is enough when you leave and perish from this earth, that you're leaving that behind. That alone is enough to do it, to take that step right now.
It really is, though. How many summers you said we had?
If you're around 30, 40 in real life, most people live to the age of 70. And that's big now, 70, 80. We're just going to say that. So we got about 30, 40 summers left. Think about that. You have 30, 40 summers of your life left, man. Life is that short.
So are we trying to establish a dream that can be continual? In other words, let's say we're siblings, for example, big brother, little brother type, atmosphere, right?
Gotcha.
Or are we trying to establish a dream that lives past the flesh?
Exactly.
Us.
Mm-hmm. That's me. That's when we leave here. I've always thought like that. You always thought like that. We always agreed on that, man. When we leave here, people will still be saying our name. And I don't want you guys to say that's arrogant or cocky or whatever. People will still be saying our name when we leave here because, we're here to help and heal. Our sole purpose is to help people out here. You guys that's listening, the audience that support us, that show us love, man, we appreciate it so much, man. We're doing this for y'all. We bear our souls for y'all. We want people to know that you're not alone. We want people to know that, that journey of yours, man, take those steps. Don't leave here just worried about material things, that who got the latest shoes and who got the latest this. And that's not what's important because we all going to leave here at the end of the day.
Right. But don't dream about materialism.
Right.
That's simply what that means, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to share something with you before we part with the people.
All right, let's go.
For me, I wrote this, I don't know how long ago, but dreaming is a real thing for me. Mm-hmm. Envisioning something even wide awake, subconsciously, or the conscious, doesn't matter. It's the fact that the brain can exist in both states.
Okay.
So for me, it's don't ever stop believing. Remember, everything is possible within your dream. Let's go backwards real fast. Your dream creates the possibility. Mm-hmm. If you can't see it, you can't be it.
Facts.
So let's dream it. Ego is never the problem when it contains being in check.
Okay.
Simply put is pride leads to the crash. It is what accomplishes falling.
Man, you said it with that one.
So we got to balance that particular part. Okay. So acquire all your heart's desire. Now that's your emotion.
Okay.
That's your gut feeling.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying you should go with that?
I'm telling you, your gut feeling has a lot to it. Okay. If your hair stand up on your body, guess what?
Is that intuition?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's best.
I got you, bro.
Remain the course. Ride it out.
Write your dreams.
Ride it out.
Oh, ride it out. I thought you said write it out too. Ride it out and write it out. They say that too. Once you write it down, it becomes real. Yeah. It actually means something to you, man.
Right. You concreted it at that moment.
You made it concrete, man.
Yeah. So, I look at stuff like that and I say, hey, man, who are we and how do we come about together? How we are collaborating, right? Mm-hmm. How does our two spirits or physical beings exist at the same time in this particular timetable?
Right.
It's easy. We're living a dream.
Right. We're living a dream, man. I mean, we're doing God's work. Y'all hear me say that all the time because I think everything attached to this, everything attached to us is God. We're doing God's work, man. All that stuff he put inside of you, don't let it go to waste. Do what you were put here to do. Don't be afraid. Don't let pride get in the way. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about what the next person is doing. Just have tunnel vision and just go for it, man. Do you. Got something to say before we wrap this thing on up?
Hey, man, be about love. Appreciate every breath that you have in life. And when you wake up in the morning, thank God for it.
First and foremost, man, get down on that knee. But before we get out of here, before I say it, you guys know what I'm about to say. We always say it.
You've been
stroked.
All the way.
Look at him, stroked up.
Deepen.
Don't forget, go on social media at Strok'D, STROK'D _ the podcast, at Strok'D, STROK'D _ the podcast. We appreciate you. We love you. Just got stroked.
It's never ending. Get stroked up.